Not the conduct of a news anchor, especially an older white woman. So I've never heard a news anchor with that type of conduct. And I'm gonna keep it so 100 with you. Even with black news anchors, they do not have that demeanor about themselves. They're professional. They keep everything professional, and what comes out of their mouth is professionalism. Just the same as the conversation she was having with Miss Carmen. So, Carmen was maintaining who she was because Carmen is a news anchor. So she's just reporting the news.
Right. We not here to talk about no one's grandmother.
But Barbara took the whole conversation in her own hands and continued to make derogatory remarks
and I didn't even like
towards
she was
Carmen.
like the gentleman behind her, and just kind of combining her and them together like she's supposed to just do a little bit of this to get a little bit of that.
Right.
And like, you serious?
Go buy some pecan, some chocolate pies or pecan, whatever you prefer. And give it to those men.
And I've not ever heard of chocolate pie.
And keep in mind, she didn't say.
True story. Never heard of it.
Well, that's why, she was just trying to get as close to the insult as she can. That's why she said, or pecan pie.
Whatever you choose.
Either way it go, you trying to make derogatory marks against me and my race. Because had she been a white news anchor, her demeanor, she wouldn't have said, girl, sis.
I know you enough. Yeah, no.
To know that your listen.
She was out of line for that. That was absolutely out of line.
You as a white woman could never know a black woman well enough to know what her mother and her grandmother, anything. And for her to be so comfortable with the fact that she insulted her co-workers. And for the company to be so okay with that.
But then for the company to dismiss her on saying a phrase that's known across the world.
As being associated with Snoop. And the
But
whole conversation was about Snoop. So, I don't really take away from that because I think that she used
not at
it
all. That's
very
not what
well.
we're doing. We're talking about the fact that it was okay for you to say your mother and your grandmammy, but saying for shizzle my nizzle got you dismembered? Like, you got to just get dismissed behind that? She should, and it was okay just to apologize for the fact that she said grandmammy.
Right.
But for saying for shizzle my nizzle, she completely got dismissed. To me, I see it as a whole racial issue, period.
Right.
Snoop Dogg was displayed on that whole segment. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Her cheerleader on the side. I don't know brother's name.
Yeah, he was pretty much coaching the whole
You get what I
conversation.
mean? You get what I mean?
Did
you hear the shit that he was saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I put some limelight on his ass too.
Right.
I don't know that anchor's name.
Right. I think he
should.
Did you hear the things that he was saying
too? Enough to know that those guys working behind you, they probably know who the celebrity game day picker is. So you need to go swing by the
talking
Kroger's.
about.
He's sitting there laughing.
They're talking about sports. Okay. So Just know they're talking about
Would be
sports.
just fine. And you need to go offering it to some of those guys working behind you
Get the scoop.
and see if you can get the scoop from one of those for return.
Hear all
I
the
know
times
your
that she
your mother or
is.
your grandmammy has got
And you need to go offer it. So basically, go use what you got.
She
to
told
get the
her to
information
go
from
buy
these
some
brothers behind you.
pies. Go buy some
That's how I look at
pies.
Chocolate pies, pecan,
Yes.
or whatever.
Because
you're
I know
choosing.
your mother and your grandmammy. Come on now. Come on now. Let's be real. Let's be real. Now, if that wasn't a clear example of racism, I don't know what to tell you. Now, the for shizzle my nizzle, hey, listen. I
wouldn't
could
be
let
mad at
that
that.
slide. I could let that
I
slide
wouldn't
with
even mad at that.
anybody that's talking about Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know that much about Snoop, you know for shizzle my nizzle. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? It's
And
no
he's the
mistaking it.
creator of for shizzle my nizzle. Okay? And also keep in mind, Snoop Dogg created this term to keep from saying nigga. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, with him dimming a light on it in that way, it made it okay. It made it more comfortable for white people to sing along. So, or say it. And if a white person walked up to Snoop and said, for shizzle my nizzle, hey, he right on the same team. And I understand it sounds more, but that's because, you know, we have to understand the logic of that phrase coming from Snoop. We have to understand that Snoop is an entertainer. You know, it's not like she made it up. Like, she assumed that this woman's grandmother was a slave.
How dare you? How
You know what I'm saying?
dare
I fought
you?
her. I definitely fought her
Damn it! How dare
on
you?
that. And we have to keep in mind, throughout the whole conversation that she had, she didn't mention anything about sports. She was completely off topic. She was very unprofessional. It sounded as if she was, you know, insisting that she kind of like be flirtatious with these men. I'm not sure if she was like insinuating that she should prostitute herself. I mean, I don't know. You go give a man your chocolate pie. I mean, you gotta take it for what it is, especially when you sending out shots the whole cast throughout the whole time that we're
some
talking.
cold jabs. Some cold jabs.
And you can clearly see that Carmen had other shit lined up that she wanted to say that was pertaining to what the
she was
news
saying
that
to
she
her.
was trying to get out. But instead, she was completely insulted by her co-worker.
Because what she had to say had nothing to do with what she was talking about. Like, wait.
And it was okay.
But she still laughed it off.
Yeah,
She laughed that shit off.
right.
You know what I mean? Just trying to keep it professional, because I know it probably took everything she had
Yeah.
not to respond to that woman.
Not to turn black on her. Because in her line of work is professionalism.
But her line of work is to get the news
Yes.
out there.
Right.
You hear me? The news.
Right.
Not no fuckery that she was on. The little jabs that she was throwing. You know what I mean?
Well, it shows the respect that she had
right.
for
what
her
angle
her
was you going
black
with that?
coat,
Like, right.
her
So
black
let's
hose.
not act like this is not going on in this news place.
Right.
You know what I mean? This station has a lot of racism going on. That's why I said let's really think about why she was so comfortable coming at this young woman.
Right.
The way she was.
Right.
Let's think about that. She was too comfortable with that shit.
Yes.
And because something was brought to them about that, so because she said what she said about the whole Snoop Dogg thing, it was like, really?
Like,
You
damn.
use that
Now
as
we
an
gotta
excuse to
let
get
you
rid
go.
of her when you know damn well she should have been put to the side when she said what she said about the whole Grammy situation.
Right.
You get what I mean? So that's how I look at that. Like, why was she so comfortable?
Well, I mean, when you look at Kevin Hart, you know, and he was supposed to host, you know, what was the Oscars or something, and they took it away from him because he said something that offended another group of people. They took it all the way away from him.
That's the part that kills me, because there's always something that's offending someone. You get what I mean?
Well, there are some things that are blatantly offensive. But when you look at the what, you know, his, you know, what he does for a living, his profession,
He's a comedian.
he's a comedian. So, at the end of the day, you know, everything that he's saying is to make you laugh. So, he's still trying to find some humor in
Anything
and
that's
these
going
things.
on out here.
But when we're watching him, we're looking for these things. We're listening for the humor. So, however he set up the joke or whatever, you know, whatever information that he have to use to make us laugh, this is what he's doing. But clearly, when you're broadcasting the news, this is not the time or place to become a comedian. You have to look at the truth as what it is. And the truth is, there's a lack of respect in Mississippi overall for black people.
And this is probably maybe off the subject, but I'm going to just throw in the little Paula Deen incident, you know, when she made the statement about, you know, niggas. She made the comment, niggas. You know what I mean? So I'll say that bottom line, it's realistically, again, like we stated in our previous shows, it's still live and in living color.
Right.
You get what I mean? And people pick and choose when they want to do something about it. But what we want y'all to do is
React positively.
react. You get what I mean? Like,
React positively.
like, you see it happening, try to make whatever you can make happen. And bring a positive out of it. But I mean, at the end of the day, this shit is still live and in living color.
Right.
It could happen to you. It could happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we have to be aware of this. You know, they'll say things that, you know, you could be with people in a group of people, but you have to understand.
Right.
Listen to what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're taking shots at you.
Right.
You know, and it's
Right.
real. People be taking shots at you. You don't even know, because you gotta. It's the sarcasm is real.
Right.
But you gotta be right there with them. You know what I mean? They'll use you for amusement. I'll
Right.
say that.
Right.
You get what I mean? And that's what she did to me. I feel like she used her as a public amusement. She thought that shit was funny.
Yeah. She completely did not have any professionalism towards a lady that was being professional with her. So we have to be aware of these things, you guys, and we have to fight back, and we have to fight back positively. We have to show that we care about our Rasheed Carters and, you know, our black men and our black women. You know, our community as a whole. You know,
Yes.
because a strong
Yes.
community is a united community, and not just amongst unite